Hey Sagittarius, this is Hybrid Hipster with your first 2 weeks of January energy. I'm going to be pulling 3 oracle cards for you. See what kind of energy that you're working with in the first 2 weeks. It is a brand new year and we are in the of Capricorn right now. That's a little difficult energy to be dealing with. It is forcing us to really take charge in our own power and to really put our nose to the grindstone and work to build the things that we want, aspire to create, and then gain out of that. You are the master manifest. So it should be interesting to see what you guys can pull out of thin air. With to utilize the energy, we should be able to really build roots for us to then go back to. If we, these are basic skills that we use within the three. It's a very, how would I say, almost kind of like a fleshy kind of energy almost. It really invokes that human nature inside of us, our human instincts, our flight or fight. It invokes all of that kind of basic human instincts, that survival mode. It's a very, in my opinion, intuitive to actually go through this energy because it is a pusher for us in the terms of accomplishing and receiving things that we need to receive, especially when it comes to accomplishing those goals or finally going about doing those things that we never thought we were going to be able to do. Wow, you're but yeah, so we're in that Capricorn energy and it really does invoke that go get it and don't stop until we've actually. It's a very positive energy for us to be in if we were to utilize that energy in any positive way instead of staying in the more negative side, which would bring about, you know, that hard-headedness, that stubbornness, the unwillingness to really bend or mold our ideas or what we saw within our sights to be our future or our goals and how they're supposed to actually go and fall in line with our perspective, when really there are a lot of other energies around us that are affecting that. So we'll jump right into your oracle cards. Your first one is I am accepting. The second is I can be trusted. And the third is I keep my own counsel. I want to say with all three of these cards, they really do feel very Sagittarian. You guys do a very good job of keeping your own counsel, and you guys honestly speak within your own truth. And even within your own truth, there is truth to everyone, to everyone's story, to everyone's solution to their problems. You know, you guys are very good at looking at a situation or a problem that someone else views as something that's not easily overcame, and you can find solutions very quickly for those things. I feel as though you struggle a little bit with doing that with yourself, though. The energy can get very chaotic, can be a little much. You guys are very empathic as well. So it does require you, especially with you feeling all of the true intentions of others around you, or maybe even just tapping in to how others really handle their emotions or process situations that they're in. It does require you to be a very accepting, which is kind of how you mirror almost. It's very Aquarian almost, because you guys are humanitarians. So you can understand on the level of someone to come to you with very personal information or a very personal situation. You can also be very trusted within that as well, because you have come from a place, most Sagittarians that I have known have come from a place where they have done things that they may not be so proud of, others might not be so proud of that, but it takes the step of accepting oneself and understanding that you do make mistakes and you are human. You can't be godlike. And that, I think, is very difficult for you to understand, because you always want to rush in and you want to save everyone or help the situation and make it better. In some situations, we can't do that. I think that it's very important for you to pay attention to know, yourself and what you have accomplished thus far. Be very proud of that, because a lot of other people would have just been willing to lay down and accept the situations for what they are. I don't think you really do that, though. I think you fight for whatever cause that you find yourself wanting to push forward with. That being said, I would really suggest you be careful with who you persevere through, because with you being accepting and with you carrying the burden of being a trustworthy person, it does not mean that you have to sacrifice yourself in order to be that, you know, superwoman or superman. It's not necessary and it's not required. I think that's going to be a very hard lesson for you, and that's very important. And they want me to stress that to you, that this is not a time for you to, again, stay in that kind of foreboding kind of energy of being so headstrong about what you want to do that you end up in a kind of roadblock for yourself, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to jump into your main reading. It's going to be cycling from your present energy into the future energy within the next 2 weeks. And then, you know, we'll see where you're sitting with that. But I feel like that is the biggest, broadest message for you as of right now. Just understanding that, and then understanding that with this reading, it is a very general reading. It's not going to resonate with everyone. So if it doesn't resonate, you don't have to stay and continue watching it. You might find bits and pieces that do. Do not try to make it fit within your timeline or your story, because you might not even cycled into this time period yet, and or you have already passed this. We all move at different rates. So that being said, I'm going to pull your main cards. Keep that in mind. But yeah, the kind of energy we're in, it can wind up getting us into a situation where we feel as though we need to push forward with certain things that sometimes we don't need to, and sometimes it's very necessary for us to shed those behaviors and those wants and those needs. And I know that it's hard sometimes to differentiate those things, because there are paths that we need to take and there's paths that we don't need to take, and they do get blurred at times, which is completely understandable. Okay, let's see here. Let's tap into the present energy. That's Sagittarius. Oh, I'm flying right out. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, you're starting out strong. Which, why wouldn't you, Sagittarius? Alright, and this is, again, to remind you, your present energy. I'm gonna get one more card on. Oh, and they gave me, okay, they gave me 2 cards. I'll take them. So right out the bat here, without even pulling any clarifiers or anything like that along those lines, we do have a definite issue with maybe some toxic behaviors around you, or something that you are kind of stuck with doing within your own way. You do have the Queen of Swords here. So, and she is upright. Again, I think this really does tie into what I was saying within the beginning of this, of your overall energy of what you're entering into with this. We need to understand, especially with Sagittarians, and don't get me wrong, I love Sagittarians and I love your uniqueness, and I love the fact that you have no problem with speaking on something that you truly believe in. There are some points in time, though, where we need to not be doing that. The Queen of Swords, along with the King of Swords, they speak their truth. They speak it, and then they send that message out onto others. It usually is an air sign, but it could be linked with a fire-like energy as well, because they are 2 very similar energies. They're very straight to the point. They communicate very clearly, and they want to get that point across. It's paired with the devil, though. So I really feel like you're running into an issue again, to where you might be getting into that Capricorn energy, because that is Capricorn, the devil card, of over over compensating or over speaking on things that really don't need to be spoken on anymore, or at this moment it's not the right time for you to be speaking on it. But it's very hard for you not to do that because you want to kind of just run in and speak your part, which I completely understand, because if you're coming from that Queen of Sword energy, you just, and especially coming from the Queen of Sword energy, you really want to speak your truth. And you're okay with people not agreeing with that, because that goes back into your card, I keep my own counsel. But that being said, it worries me because it is attached to the devil. So I'm going to pull cards on that to see what exactly is going on with this area right here first. That's what we're going to start. And see why the Queen of Sword is here. I think too, it's really interesting because Capricorn is all about, like I said, it's a very fleshlight kind of energy, very 3D world kind of energy. It brings out the toxicity of certain situations or our toxic traits as well. It's a very good, and that's why I'm saying it's a very good season to be in if you are not looking at it in a negative viewpoint. You allow yourself to be immersed within the lessons that are unfolding with that, because the devil energy also brings about the karmic lessons, the cycles that we're in, all of those things it brings to light, and it allows you to see what the problem really is. What I find interesting is, oh my. All right, you might have an earth sign around you or attached to you, or you may just be carrying this energy because we are in Capricorn. We are focused more on our physical versus our let's say almost like spirituality. We're kind of now zoning in on that. Okay, it's almost as if you try to do that because it's more manageable, almost in a sense, than dealing with the spiritual realm that gets a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. But as humans, we enjoy to complicate things. So I would definitely say that there's something going on to where it's like almost fighting for your independence almost. Because we have a 3 of Cups here in reverse, and we have a 9 of Pentacles in reverse, followed by the 10 of Cups in reverse. It's like you're disconnecting from your emotional side of things. You're disconnecting completely from that because you have lost yourself. You have lost maybe your passion or what makes you happy or what brings you joy. You've lost your independence and stability as well. Not saying that you are depending on someone else. Someone else may very well be depending on you, which in your eyes, you, especially with it being paired with the Queen of Swords, that energy automatically brings about the need of the space to be able to breathe and kind of be independent within yourself and your own autonomy. So when a Queen of Swords feels this way, or someone who's in this energy, because she is a very independent person, and Sagittarians are exactly the same. They don't enjoy being tied down or feeling like they're trapped. They feel, it's almost as if I feel like this person feels like they are trapped, and it was for how they got into this situation was maybe, you know, sacrificing oneself for emotional fulfillment, but they never received that emotional fulfillment, and they're starting to see the truth in that. So, and then we have a Knight of Pentacles coming in. So maybe you're slowly building up to the point of, you know, communicating that with another person, because we do have the 2 of Cups here. So it's all about having a very divine, very 7 of Swords here again is showing itself. Something is not right here. And I feel as though you can feel that and it's bothering you. And so you want to speak on it you're not emotionally pulled away from the situation though, because you have the Eight of Cups in reverse on the bottom. So you're not emotionally pulled away. I'm sorry, let me get a drink. You're not emotionally pulled away from the situation itself, but there are some really weird going ons basically that are happening within this connection, and I feel as though this is a connection. Something does not sit right with you with this situation at all. You're not comfortable with it, and you feel very restrained. That's what I definitely get with that first card. So, and then we have the Devil following right behind that. So maybe we're going to get into a toxic trait that you do, and it may very well be that trait of, you know, sticking around in situations that you really shouldn't stick around in because you feel as though you're obligated to, when you're really not. We're not obligated to do anything. We're not obligated to stay in situations that we don't really need to. We have no purpose of staying in. Let's see why the Devil's here. But I'm feeling as though that is the case with this. It's the Lovers. Nope. Oh my gosh. It's the Five of Cups. Despair, sadness. Not knowing what to do, not knowing which way to turn. The Moon. Oh my. So yeah, something might get revealed to you. Or it might stay hidden. But I feel as though with Sagittarians, you guys are so knowing. You already know this. That's what I do know for sure. That's what they are telling me. This is something you already know. You know it. You're pretending like you don't know it, but you know it. And there it is again, the Three of Cups, upright though. Drinking. If someone is heavily drinking and inebriating themselves so they don't have to think about this heartbreak, Three of Swords just came out. If you are inebriating yourself so you do not have to think about this heartbreak, I'm telling you right now that you're making the wrong decision. This is a bad coping mechanism. You're doing it so that you don't have to pay attention to this, because you're getting so much Pentacle energy right now. But the Queen of Pentacles upright, you have so much to offer. And it's like, you know you do. You know you have so much to offer. I feel as though you actually want to have a stabilized life and relationship, maybe even, to where you can be a very stable, balanced individual. But as of right now, you're just in such a chaotic, almost very toxic situation. And even this card right here, it doesn't look well to me, because in this deck, and it's paired with the Devil, like, look at them. They have frogs all over them. They're drinking dirty water. It's not obviously good for them. They don't look as if they're well. You know, it's like you're not taking care of yourself, and that's what's leading to that despair and that sadness. It's almost like you feel as though, okay, I pulled myself out of this rut. I'm doing well. I'm gonna do well, and something comes back in and kind of swoops that away. Oh, here you are, the Queen of Wands in reverse. You don't feel yourself. And you're doing anything within your power to turn away from the situation, not look at it, not even address it, because you know that you were just, maybe you've taken on this Queen of Pentacle role. The Queen of Pentacles is a nurturing person. It's not bad at all. But they take care of others around them. They're solely focused on just taking care of other things around them. Taking care of the home, taking care of everything that's like a very 3D almost. And then now you have yourself as a Queen of Wands in reverse. So why are you doing all of this when you lost yourself doing it? Why continue doing it? You're not happy. So why continue? And that's toxic. It's all linked to the Devil. That's so toxic, because you're not being true to yourself. And I'm telling you what right now, you know, you, especially being a Sagittarius, you cannot do this to yourself, because it's bad for you in the long run. You might not view it as bad for you in the long run, but it is very bad for you, because you need to be free. You have to be free in order to really experience the full beauty of being a Sagittarian. And that is, you guys are a very free spirit. So being trapped in this situation is just not good for you. It's draining. Let's see what this Two of Cups is. So this is a definite connection. This may be talking about just a very specific... The Queen of Swords is here again. Oh my gosh. Oh my. There's a connection here that you have with someone. It ignites you. It opens your soul. You have the Three of Wands and the Two of Wands here connected to this Queen of Swords. This Queen of Swords may be someone around you that you have a very, 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 very strong bond with. Could be masculine, could be feminine. It doesn't really matter. The energies are interchangeable. It doesn't matter what gender it is. The Queen of Swords, again, is a very benevolent, very fair, very understanding, accepting. You can trust them. They're very trustworthy. And that's in their upright energy. But it's a very beautiful energy to be around because they encourage you. They say, go and do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. Oh, I can't remember who sings this song, but like the chorus is, if you sing out, and if you wanna be, cause there's a million things to be, you know that I love that song. And if you wanna live high, live high. And if you want to live low, live low. Because there's a million ways you can go. You know that there are. Especially a Sagittarian. You know that there is. A million different pathways. It's just you making that choice. And they're giving me too many cards. There's a King of Cups. Here's... Oh, okay. Okay. We go to him when we go to him. That was too many cards. So... there's like really good communication with this person, and then they kind of open you up to the possibilities with the Three of Wands being here. Like I just said with that song, it's like they open that broad for you. Like it's like they speak to you and you're like, that makes so much sense. Like, and it's almost like you get me, you understand what I'm saying. Especially if it is of an air suit. It doesn't even have to be Aquarius. It could be a Gemini, it could be a Libra. But I wouldn't be surprised that if it's either a Gemini or an Aquarius, because we encourage that. We encourage people to just be themselves. That's what air signs do. So speaking that truth, having clear communication with that person. But then we have a Nine of Wands here in reverse. So it's like you want to do it. You want to go. It's like you want to go and do this. You want to go and do this. You know you want to go and do this. It lights a fire in you. Then we have the Page of Wands in reverse and the Nine of Wands next to that. So it's like, you want to do it, you just don't know how to do it. You want to go, but how do I go about doing it? And I find it funny because with Sagittarians, you guys get so excited and so passionate that you guys just don't know which way to go after that. You're like, okay, so then how do I implement it? How do I implement this plan? I have the plan. How do I implement it? Like, and it's funny to me because your guys' minds work that fast. Like, that's why I'm saying you guys are such a unique soul, and I don't think you see that. And eventually you will see that, because you see that every time you maybe are around this person that kind of understands where you're coming from. They're like telling you, no, you should definitely, go for what you want and what you believe in and who you are. And they encourage that behavior, and then it's kind of like you're like, okay, so how do I do that? And then we come into this Two of Wands energy. That's feeling like you have options. That's feeling like, you know what, my future is ahead of me and I can do literally anything I want to do. Three of Pentacles here. That's nice energy to have. And then, okay, we're not going to take those again. I know I shuffled. If they come out, they come out. The Ten of Pentacles. Oh, well, your career is looking good. There's no doubt about that. So that's really good information. Ooh, that's not good though. Okay, so I see what the problem is. So, and I really love her in this deck. I hope that my camera will focus in on her. She's the High Priestess. I love her so much. It's okay. But she's the High Priestess in this deck. And like a little moth. A moth woman. And she's also appears to me to be holding a heart in her hand. Oh. So this is going to kind of be a heavy reading because I feel like this is really just solely about your heart and following your heart and following your main intuition. You have a possibility of actually collabing with others in their like-minded souls. They understand the way that your mind processes. You might actually meet an individual, maybe this person at work with the Three of Pentacles being there, could be a family member with the Three of Pentacles. It's all about a group that gets along. They're like-minded. They are, when they're around each other, things move cohesively. They make sense. You know, it's not forced. It's not a forced connection. It's really nice to have connections like that are not forced. And to have in the Ace of Cups, wow. Ooh, okay. There's emotional fulfillment here. The emotional fulfillment honestly lies in following what your spirit is asking you to do. And I know, I know what you're going to say because I know quite a few Sagittariuses, but I know one in particular and I love her dearly, but she's kind of like every time she talks about, you know, her spirit guides trying to give her these messages, they're usually very just cryptic. And she's like, okay, so what the hell am I supposed to do with that information? What do you want me to do? And it's funny because really all they're asking her to do is follow your heart. Like, follow it. That's all you have to do. And it's, you know what, they try to make it sound so simple on their side, but on our side it's not that simple because we have 3D, like I said, 3D earthy fleshy human things going on, not in the astral plane or in reality on Earth. So, you know, it's more complicated, but it's just like you're not following your intuition, definitely, because the High Priestess is in reverse. It's like you have all these things aligned, and I think that's what you're kind of doing. It's like kind of like a checklist. Like, okay, so I got this in line, so now I had to work on this. Instead of doing that, I want you and encourage you just to go with the flow. And you, out of all signs, you believe me, trust me, do it. Because you have nothing to worry about because you're the master manifestor. So even if crap hits the fan, you guys have the knack of cleaning it all up. And I believe that you'll be able to do that because you have a 10 of Pentacles here already with everything else. You are comfortably living right now. I just think it's the other half of it now that's missing. And now you can, now that the other half of your life is settled down, like the physical 3D realm has, now we're kind of moving into the zone where like, well, shit, I don't really have to look at that and pay attention to that part of my life anymore. Now I have to focus on this part. And I feel as though it's kind of uncomfortable for you. It is uncomfortable for you. You are trying all of your might to not look at the situation. Whatever situation this is, you don't want to look at it. You are literally like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to take those cards because saw me shuffle them. Can't make it up. So we're entering now back into this energy. So the Four of Pentacles in reverse is all about, and again, this is so Cappy energy. You have to try really hard not to get sucked into this energy, which is very hard to do because, you know, it's just a very, very heavy energy. But it's, you are focusing on things that don't matter. They don't matter to you right now in the existence that you're doing right now. Like whatever next step that you're taking, it doesn't really matter about the you know, whatever this is, this doesn't matter. But it's almost as if you're saying to yourself, because you are in a Knight of Wands in reverse, it's inconsistent energy. And that's because you're putting energy into things that don't matter, so your energy gets splayed, which again is a very Sagittarian thing, because you guys take on so many things at one time that everything just goes everywhere, and then your energy is just splayed out in 4 different directions. You're like, well, I don't know what to do now because now I'm tired. Everybody's just making me mad because I'm tired, and then you get irritable, and then it all blows up. So you guys have so much energy that you have to really like learn how to contain it down, because Sagittarians are just, it's, again, that's why I love them, because they have so much energy inside of them and they just want to go 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 go. But sometimes it's okay to just chill out, because it's obvious here that you are just in a whirlwind right now. So we have the 8 of Wands with the 5 of Wands. So you're communicating with people, and again, this is what I'm saying from the beginning, and it ties all back together. It all loops. I love it when it loops back around again. To communicating, but when you communicate, that causes conflict. You want to know why that causes conflict? Because you're not communicating clearly from a clear space of mind. The reason why that's not happening is because your energy is being splayed in 13 different directions. So you really need to focus on this big issue, because it's one issue. And the reason why I'm saying it's one issue is because this three of sword has come up again. Something is bothering you, and it hurt you deeply with this 3 of sword being. It's hurt you. And it's hurt you to the point to where you don't even want to listen to your intuition regarding the situation. It's like you're turning your head and saying, I don't want to deal with it. I just really don't want to deal with it. I can deal with it on a later date. And that's because you're too busy focusing on this, because maybe it's easier for you to handle these situations than to handle this situation. I'm telling you right now that what you do need to handle is the situation that's the most uncomfortable, because that is the lesson. They wanted me to stress that. I'm going to say it one more time because they wanted me to stress that to you. That is the lesson. The one that makes you super uncomfortable and you don't want to touchy it, that is the lesson. It's not the little shit. They don't care about that. They care about what's making you feel uncomfortable and what you don't want to look at. That is your lesson. Whew. Sagittarius, poor Sagittarius. Oh no. And you guys, I feel like you guys are being pulled in so many directions. I think that's what's really so frustrating about it all. It's like, when do I ever get the chance and the time to look at myself? I don't, because I'm too busy dealing with everybody else's crap. And that's kind of how you feel. So let's see what the 7 of Swords is about. I don't know if I really want to know. The 7 of Swords is all about sneaky behavior. I'm not surprised though, because the devil is here. It might not be you carrying this energy though. A very common thing that happens too is when we're not paying attention. When we're not paying attention to our surroundings, negative people, negative energy, people who are envious of us have a chance to slip in and wreak havoc. Oh, I can tell you how this situation is going automatically, just with those 3 cards. Honey, you need to move on. This is not, no. Now, my first warning, there's, oh, there you are, upright. I'm so proud of you. Yay! The Chariot's on the bottom, dealing with the Cancer. They're really annoying, so that can drive anyone insane. Any water sign, actually, will drive someone if they don't deal with water signs. It's annoying. So I just want to show you this. Oh my gosh, it's Temperance. You are in your upright in all your glory. Come on. That's okay. Well, you're right there in all your glory, upright. So the 7 of Swords, there's 2 separate groups here that I'm going to address. The first group is, and I'm going to let you know right now, that if you are the group that thinks that staying in a situation is going to help you to exceed and excel and become prosperous in your life by staying around and lying to people, to gain something, it's coming back for you. And I would suggest you don't do that, because that's very terrible karma to live through. I know that personally. Do not do it. For the love of God. Stop while you're ahead. And then the second group is going to be the people who are in a situation where someone is taking advantage of the situation and them. They don't want to release this. The death is in, the card is in reverse. The Four of Wands is in reverse. So it's built on faulty foundation. They don't want to release it. And it's because they're gaining off of you because, oh, here we go. It's upright this time. The Nine of Pentacles is here. Which means this is someone who is a very stable person who is living in an empire they built, and someone else is involved in this situation living off of that. That's why they won't release you. It's not because it's love. It's not because they care about you. It's because they see you as an opportunity. But it's built on lies. So this individual is lying to you through their teeth, and you knew this. You already know this, and this is the point that I'm making. Is you know, just as much as you want to speak about your personal truth and everything you know, you already knew this. You knew it. You were just ignoring it. You were turning your head, and I understand that completely because it's probably very awkward and doesn't feel good to have to deal with it. But that is your lesson. It's a lesson that you need to cycle through and then move past, because you have an Ace of Wands, a brand new opportunity coming in. And I don't think you're going to communicate this with anyone. Eight of Wands is in reverse. You're not going to communicate it to anyone or this individual. You're just going to move the hell on. The first group, if you're doing that, again, I'm not judging you because I've been in this situation before, but I do not suggest you doing it because it's not a great way to build karma at all. You're going to have really bad karma. Not to mention it's not very fair to the other person involved. Now, if you are the person that is receiving this type of treatment, you are going to move past this, and you're not going to communicate it to that person at all, because in your eyes, you've already spoken your truth to this person. I've already seen it in the past. You've already tried to speak to this person. You're going towards, Chariot is on the bottom. Oh, would you look at that? The Knight of Wands, upright with the Chariot. And then we have Temperance upright down here. Balance, balance, and then I know what I want to go do now. I have purpose and intent. And that's good energy to keep staying it. So that's for your present energy. We're going to cycle down into your future energy now. Whew. We are already at 37 minutes. Sagittarius. I have to say, you guys never disappoint. Because you guys really do go through some crazy crap. And like I said, I've known a lot of Sagittarians, heard a lot of Sagittarian stories, and you guys just really do try your best, but people around you just be acting a dang fool sometimes. So it's hard for you. You got a Seven of Wands in reverse. Okay. So for this future energy, because we kind of ran over, I'm going to pull 4. Never mind. We're going to pull more than 4. Okie dokie then. Knight of Wands again. Oh my god. On the bottom, upright. In a whole different deck too. Oh my. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. Yeah. They wanted me to pull them. Okay. I just wanted to double check myself because, you know. So, let's see what's going on. 7 of Wands in reverse. Start with that one first. Alright. Okay. Ooh, the Hierophants. There's definitely a major lesson that was needed to be learned here. 7 of Wands is all about being on guard towards something. You have 3 major arcana and 1 though. So You definitely learned something and learned a lesson here. It is a very important lesson. It almost kind of um re reframed kind of how you see things, or you're tapping back into your base level morals or beliefs or what you were before all of this, and it will make sense to you if it's for you. Before all of this, you were someone that you enjoyed being, and the Seven of Pentacles here, that is usually about home, a home setting, like a life. I'm gonna say lifestyle. I'm not gonna say home setting. It's a life. It was a lifestyle you had, and or how you, or maybe you were following. Okay, so that could be for one set. The other set of you were so busy trying to build this life, or this picture of something that you felt was correct, and followed the status quo. You did all these things, and you thought that this was how you were going to gain happiness, which is probably revolving around ancestral um, patterns, toxicity. Um, it all ties into that type of thing. It's like what we learned from our parents and we pass down into our own lives, what we think is normal. You may have lived in a lifestyle to where your parents, or one parent, made you think that building a home with someone else is what brought you happiness, when really that's not the case at all. And it led to a Three of Sword energy. And again, it was because you didn't listen to your intuition regarding this situation at all. You didn't listen to that. Sorry about the clean. Oh my lord. Sorry. But I feel as though that is definitely the case, because your intuition, again, it's in reverse. You're not listening to yourself. You're not listening to yourself. You did not listen to yourself. And I feel as though this is a pattern. This is definitely a pattern that you've been doing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But I feel as though this time around it's going to change. It's going to flip. Judgment is here. Judgment is not only you making a decision, it's also the universe stepping in and intervening in that. And so is the Justice card, but this is in reverse. You have the Moon card again, but this time it's in reverse. So it's a lot of energy here. Like a lot of energy here, to where, you know, again, like I said, it spans back to almost your childhood, of what you learned was normal, what was the status quo, what you believed would make you happy because you watched others around you do that. But then you realized very quickly that that is not the case at all. Okay. Now Justice in reverse. I think this Justice card is for Death in reverse again. Okay, I knew he was going to show himself. Injustice, and we have a 10 of Wand on the bottom. Overburdening. You're doing something you do not want to do. You have a Page of Cups on the bottom. Lying. Lies. Someone telling you something that sounds good, but that's not actually the truth. And I'm not surprised, because I'm going to line it up just like they fell out, because you already had this on the top part and it blows my freaking mind. You have a King of Cups here in reverse with the Six of Pentacles in reverse and your Ace of Wands at the end. This person cannot reciprocate back what you are giving to them. This person who told you that they don't want to let you go, or they don't want to let the situation go because they really care about you and they never want to lose you out of their lives, or, and this could be a family member, this could be a sibling, a partner, a work boss, you know, anything along those lines. It could be literally anyone or anything. It's toxic because it's a pattern that you've been going through, where you stay in these situations because you think you can be a hero and save a person or an individual or a situation, that is never going to give back to you. You're never going to receive the amount of effort that you put in, you're never going to see back again. And that is the injustice. You keep bringing these people or these things or these situations in because you need to go for this, your Ace of Wands. And each time that you decide you're not going to take that path, you are put back through that test again. Again and again and again and again and again and again. It's not going to change. It's not going to change no matter how many different ways you try to do it. It's never going to change. Because that is the lesson, is to release things that are not serving you anymore. And this is not serving you. I think it's very important for you to understand that. Okay. Ooh, this is a heavy reading. So, yeah, I have a feeling what the Six of Wands in reverse is going to be. The Six of Wands in reverse is you losing out in this situation. You are losing out in the situation, and then this king, this nasty energy, this king of sword comes in reverse. He is not one to be messed with, especially when he has been taken advantage of or hurt in any way, shape, or form. They don't appreciate people taking advantage of their kindness, of their acceptance, of their understanding. They don't enjoy that, especially with their it's just like you're going to be very cold when it comes to cutting these people off. You're going to be very cold because you're in a King of Wand energy upright. I'm going to go for what's good for me. And that's understandable. You're going to go for what's good for you because this other situation didn't bring you anything good. It just brought you turmoil and chaos and sadness. And who wants that? I am interested about this moon in reverse, and then we'll end it there because we're already at like 46 minutes. But I don't want to drag it out too much. But I do want to clarify this because, okay. The Hermit in reverse, you're moving away from it. That's what the moon is. You are realizing, and I think in a way, you are isolating yourself because the Hermit is in reverse. That's usually isolation, cutting yourself off away from other people, giving yourself that space. I don't think that's negative if you're trying to process the situation to move past it and let it go, especially if you're detaching yourself from that toxic or person that's around you. You need to be able to give yourself that space. In order for you to process what's going on, give yourself enough time to figure out what you want to do, and then move forward. I think you're realizing that you're not going to gain anything from this. There's no reason to stay around anymore. There's no reason to actually give this individual or person energy anymore. Or the situation. It could go by any way you want it to go. But you are no longer giving this person or whoever this is the energy, time, or attention anymore. You're not doing it anymore. You're like, no, I'm done now. I can't do this anymore. And you are going to move past and away from this person. You're not going to communicate this with this person. And if you do, it's going to be very biting communication because you're so done with failing and losing, doing all of these things for the sacrifice to, benefit others. And that's what I'm saying is very important for you, Sagittarius, is you need to understand. And that is literally the overall message. You need to understand that you can't save everyone and everything is not your battle. Everything is not your lesson. There are seasons for everyone. And that's even family members. That's why we have death happen, because that's their time to leave, and that's when their journey ends. And they are tied to you. So, that ends the journey that you had with them as well. Now, I do wish you luck. Ooh, you guys really tore up my throat. I do wish you guys luck on this because it is going to be a really heavy thing for you to do. I do feel as though you will successfully do it because you end out that reading with that energy of the King of Wand energy. Like, screw this. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do what I need to do. And that's beautiful energy to be in. And I commend you on that because not everyone can do that. Not everyone can harness that energy and do what they need to do. But I think it's very important now, I'll show you this if it clears up, is I keep my own counsel, and you can see the eye up there. That eye is the third eye, the all-seeing eye, the all-knowing eye. You keep your own counsel. You keep your own, you need to understand and accept what is coming to you and what is coming towards you as of now. Because when it comes towards you, you need to be ready, you need to be accepting of it, and you need to understand that you are the person that takes care of you, not any of you. Don't rely on other people or other energies or anything else around those lines to make you happy or make you a better person. You make you a better. And it's as simple as that. You need to harness that very air-like energy, that very, if I need to cut you, I'll cut you. If I need to cut you out of my life, you need to go then. You need to harness that energy. And I wish you luck on that, and I will see you within the next 2 weeks, and hopefully the next reading I do will not be so heavy or long. I do apologize for that, but it's something that you really needed to hear. I love you, Sagittarius, as always, and I will see you not next week, but the week after that. We'll see.